Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now, Frank Warren has explained that Eddie Hearn wasn't actually supposed to say that the deal was signed. This is what he had to say. Everyone signed an agreement that there'd be no announcements unless they were joint, and that came out of the blue. We're all not happy, but it's out there now. Long way to go yet, we still have to sort out the venue. So there we go, that is what Frank Warren has explained, and of course, we knew that as soon as things were going to be getting over the line, Eddie Hearn was going to say something. Frank Warren must have known that. Bob Arum must have known that. He's going to talk about it. And in some ways he kind of has to, because he's given fans all of this hype saying it's close to being done and the fight will definitely happen. So he's got to give them something. I believe that is what Eddie Hearn is doing when he gave that announcement saying the deal has been signed, but the arena, the venue, still needs to be sorted, and that is very important because obviously that is where they are going to fight. There are many speculations about America, Asia, also the Middle East. It's not going to America in my opinion. I don't see it. I don't think it should, because if it takes place in primetime US, which if they're going to put up a site fee it would, then they're going to have it at 5 AM or 4 AM in the morning in the UK. 2 Brits for the undisputed heavyweight title. That cannot happen. It should cater to a UK time zone. And Bob Arum did previously explain that it would take place around late evening time in the US, which does kind of hint that it will be UK prime time. So if they're going to take it to America and America would put up a site fee, they would want it at prime time US, not prime time UK. So I do believe we can count out America with staging this fight. And when Frank Warren says that there's still a lot to be done with regards to tying this fight up so everything is sorted, I think we all know that. The time has passed where we go, oh boy, the fight's on, it's happening, it's 100% done, it's going to happen next, 100% we are definitely sure. I mean, I think everyone is wise to that now, that everything does need to be wrapped up, but there are still things that need to be sorted, and we do know that. Frank Warren is obviously explaining the venue situation, and it takes 30 days for them to get it sorted, otherwise this deal goes away. So there is a time period, there is a limit, things that still need to be put in place for this undisputed fight, and one of the most important things is where it will take place. Nevertheless, he is clearly not happy with Eddie Hearn announcing the fight is signed, and that was something that should have came out between all parties when that deal had been reached. But again, what did he expect to happen? Did he really expect Eddie Hearn to keep that to himself? I don't think so. Now, with Okolie versus Glowacki coming up, let's talk a bit about this fight because I think that this is a very intriguing one, where they go up against one another for the vacant WBO Cruiserweight title. Now, Okolie's been talking about becoming a WBO champion and becoming undisputed, then moving to heavyweight. WBO champion is enough at the moment, that's what he needs to focus on. And I'm not by any means saying that he's looking past Glowacki because I don't believe that he is, but still, he needs to maintain his focus on the guy in front of him instead of the places where he wants to go beyond that, because we don't even know if he can hack it at world level. He's a great fighter, very awkward and very tricky, and I mean on the inside he does grapple, he does hold, he makes it awkward, he makes it tough for his opponent. Can he do that against Glowacki? That is the big question. Okolie is going to want to maintain that distance. He doesn't really like fighting on the inside. We've never really seen him mix it up too much on the inside. He just likes to hold, and often that creates kind of a bitter performance for some fans to watch. He's not always the most exciting, but when he is, he's very exciting. Whether we will get that in this fight is another thing entirely. Okolie keeps winning. It's not necessarily about putting in the best performances every single time because most fighters cannot do that. It is about getting the win, but also those performances must come when the big occasions do arise, because that is the chance for Okolie to establish himself onto the world stage. So he doesn't want another Chamberlain kind of fight. He needs to step to this guy, and he needs to make it exciting. He needs to take this fight by the horns and make it his. Now, Glowacki has a good record. He has 2 defeats coming from 2 top cruiserweights, obviously Usyk and Bradis, so he has a reasonable resume, but he hasn't fought since his loss to Bradis in 2019. So there is a lot of inactivity there on his part, so that is something he will have to overcome. A little bit of ring rust. Okolie has been the more active fighter, and Glowacki can be flat-footed, but he does close the distance quite well, but when he does that, he lunges in. So that could surrender his positioning, allowing Okolie to step around it to the side and walk him onto a shot. So Okolie doesn't want to be fighting up close because that is what Glowacki will try to exploit. Okolie wants to keep him at range, but Glowacki will not allow him to do that. He will be stepping in, and he does sometimes lead off with that left hand, and that's down to the body and to the head also. He doesn't just headhunt, he does work down to the body. That is something as well Okolie will struggle with. This is not going to be an easy fight, but I believe that Okolie can get the victory. I would say that it's 70-30 Okolie's favour, because I just think that based off of previous performances, based off activity alone, I believe that Okolie should be winning this fight, but it's not going to be easy. It's not one of those fights where you think Okolie's definitely going to win, because this is definitely a style that can cause Okolie problems, and I want to see what happens to Okolie when someone does start working down to the body. I want to see how he deals with that. I want to see also how he deals with the pressure that Glowacki will put him under. Like I said, lunging in, coming in quickly, closing that distance. Can Okolie adjust? Can he move his feet fast enough and maybe walk Glowacki onto a check hook? Things like that. Let's see how he deals with this kind of fight before he starts talking about undisputed and moving to heavyweight. This is a live fight, and the opponent in front of him wants to become a world champion. That is something that Okolie will have to keep his eye on. This is the big fight. There are no big fights after this unless he wins. Let's see how he gets on March 20. Guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Pick your favourite subject and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Also leave a like and grab that subscribe button. Thanks guys.